stats. They're not 6 monthly stats, they're quarterly stats.
Yeah, I'm just coming to that, Chairman, but thank you for raising that.
Given the answers we've just received, what do you think the wider public and the media are going to make of the suggestions you've just made that you cannot provide evidence to this committee?
Well, I think the government and
don't you think they'll be disappointed?
No, I don't think they will. I think
they will.
We are providing
Parliament. I think I speak on behalf of the whole committee when I say we are deeply unimpressed by your ability to provide up-to-date information to this department.
How did the excellent Labour and SNP MPs Liam Byrne and Chris Law expose the Tories on Israel and statistics in the Business and Trade Select Committee meeting on Tuesday the 21st of May 2024, where they were discussing the UK arms exports to Israel?
What is the current value of UK defence and security exports to Israel?
Well, thank you, Mr. Law, and thank you, Chairman, to you and your colleagues for convening this session. Both the Deputy Foreign Secretary and I are pleased to be with you today.
We'll leave that right there because Alan Mak didn't say anything interesting other than we granted this and we exported that. And it represented 0.15% of UK's total defence export licence. And if you want to read what he said, I'll leave a link for you because it is the first question. And if you want to watch what he said, God knows why, I will leave a link of the meeting as well in the description box. But we will go to the juicy bit when Chris Law asked this question and then it all kicked off.
Do you have any figures, particularly since October 2023, and can you tell me how many licences are there and how many have been granted since that time? And what's the total value, please?
That was since October 2023, since the conflict began. Is that what you're getting at? So let me give you some wider context to this, and then hopefully I may be in a position to help the committee. So on the 13th of June this year, you will know that we are due to publish our next set of quarterly statistics covering the period 1st of July to the 31st of December 2023. So in other words, filling in the last 2 quarters of 2023 where we haven't.
I think the concern, Mr. Mak, is that we're late on the quarterly stats. They're not 6 monthly stats, they're quarterly stats.
Yeah, I'm just coming to that, Chairman, but thank you for raising that. I'm just giving you the context before hopefully providing help to the committee. So on the 13th of June, you'll be receiving, as will the public, statistics that cover the period 1 July to 31 December 2023, thereby covering the 2 quarters of 2023 where there are no current statistics in the public domain. The current statistics, as I said in my earlier answer to you, cover the period up to the end of June 2023. No other country in the world offers the level of transparency and frequency of publication that we do. And then you asked about, well, what about after that period? So from the end of December, October 23 onwards, this year, for example. As you know, the government's position is that we wouldn't usually publish additional portions of future data ahead of their official publication date. However, due to the exceptional circumstances of this scenario and this issue and the interest of this committee and of the House and of the courts and of the media, I have asked officials to prepare an ad hoc data release on an exceptional basis, which covers the period 7 October to the end of May this year, end of May 2024. It will cover the number of extant licences issued to Israel. It will cover the licences currently being processed during that period, and also provide the number of granted and refused licences since the 7th of October and the applications that have come in. I expect to be able to release those on or around the 7th of June this year, so in just over 2 weeks' time, and that will bring the data set right up to date to the end of May.
You'll appreciate, Mr. Mak, that that's completely unacceptable to the committee.
Exactly.
These are quarterly statistics, they're late, you're under a ministerial code obligation to answer in full to this committee, and we are asking you a question which you are empowered to answer. There is no legal obligation on you to withhold those statistics under the Statistics Act that is often quoted in these questions, but we would expect this to be answered today.
Are you referring to the statistics that will be published on the 13th of June or the ad hoc data release?
The most recent statistics available to you as a minister.
Okay, well, the statistics that are being prepared for the ad hoc release are not yet ready. As you will probably appreciate, they're complicated, take time to get right, and I know the committee and the whole House has a strong interest in making sure these statistics are available to members and to others. So we want to get that right, and in just over 2 weeks we will have a data set that is outside the normal cycle of publication, which will assist the committee and provide you with data that is right up to date.
Why are the quarterly stats late? Why are you having to produce 2 quarters at the same time?
Okay, I'm going to bring in Kate Joseph, but I can come back towards the end.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much, Chairman, and thank you, Minister, for the opportunity to just add to the overall picture.
I want the overall picture. Kate, so, I want to know why the quarterly statistics are late.
So we try and publish the quarterly statistics as quickly as possible, as you know. We aim to provide them usually within a sort of 3 to 4 month time frame after the end of the period to which they refer. So yes, it's true that it has been longer than it would ordinarily be, and we are trying as quickly as we can to publish those statistics. Part of the reason for that is that we, as the committee might know, have been updating our systems, our digital systems. So we have been dual running our systems, and that's added to a level of complexity, and the work to update those systems has meant that it has just taken a little bit longer to get those statistics right. As the committee knows, we take those statistics extremely seriously, and we need to make sure that they are absolutely correct, reliable, trustworthy, and so on. So that's not to make excuses for where we are. We're doing that work as quickly as possible.
An unfortunate
and we're
time
to do that
in
by
the department's life for these statistics not to be available.
So we'll publish them as soon as we possibly can. We've committed to the 13th of June. That is a little bit longer than we sometimes take, but we don't have a specific obligation for how quickly we publish them after the end of the time period.
But a matter of global controversy. The UK's position is under intensive debate here in this Parliament, and you can't supply 2 members of this House stats which should have been published some time ago.
I mean, I'll defer back to the Minister on some of those points, but first of all, I'd say that, as the Minister referred to, our transparency is considerably higher than a lot of other countries, certainly than most other countries, in terms of what we provide.
It's not about other countries. Yeah.
If I may continue.
This is the standard that this Parliament is seeking to set.
So we will publish that data from 2023 on the 13th of June. What we are also doing, in addition, over and above our commitment to publish our data on a quarterly basis, is agreeing to provide to the committee in early June much more up-to-date data on this particular issue on export licences for Israel that will take us up to the end of this month, and that is fairly unprecedented. That's an ad hoc release on exceptional grounds, and as you know, we provided information to the court earlier this year as well. So on the issue of arms export licences to Israel, we do have more up-to-date data than we have in terms of the global picture. We have data up to the end of November 2023.
Have you provided to the courts data that is more recent than the data you're providing to Parliament?
We provided to the court data that took us up to the end of November 23. That was not the full picture.
No, but has that data been provided to Parliament?
So that data is now available to the court. What we're proposing to do, and therefore members of the committee may have seen that data.
For the Minister. Are you telling us, are we hearing this correctly, that data provided to a court has not been provided to this Parliament?
Well, the ad hoc data release is designed to give the committee and the whole of Parliament a comprehensive view of statistics.
Mr. Mak, the question is, has data been provided to the court that has not been provided to this Parliament?
We have provided data to the court, and that data has, I believe, been made publicly available by the claimants in court. And what we are now doing is providing a further update to that, because that's what happened with the court, if you'll allow me to explain that situation. Because the data that we provided to the court was then made public, we are now committing to the committee that we will provide a more up-to-date version of that data that will take us up to the end of May, because of our obligation to Parliament and to the committee to provide that data.
As we sit here today, the courts of this land are better informed on the data for arms exports than the Parliament of this land.
I think that data is now publicly available.
I'm afraid that is a very poor approach to ministerial accountability. Mr. Lord, do you have anything to further?
I guess just a comment, and I wonder what the Minister would think about this. Given the answers we've just received, what do you think the wider public and the media are going to make of the suggestions you've just made that you cannot provide evidence to this committee? It's such an important and timely cycle we're in just now.
Well, I think the government and
don't you think they'll be disappointed?
No, I don't think they will. I think
they will.
We are providing an ad hoc data release that is outside the normal cycle, and will bring the committee and the whole House up to date with a full picture since the conflict started.
With respect, Minister Mak, this is since October 2023 we've been supplying licences to arms to export to Israel, and you've not been able to give any answer with respect to that time. At 7 months, you haven't got a single answer to offer this committee. Do you not think the public and journalists who are here today, and all those who've been involved in focusing on this, need to hear some answers and hear them now, not wait till the end of June?
Well, I provided you with data around our licences in the period up to 2022. I've also
in 2024, going into June 2024.
And I'm explaining how we're going to provide the data that covers the conflict. We actually have worked hard at pace to create a data package that will be released on or around the 7th of June, and that will bring the committee and the whole House right up to date. It's much better to do this in a comprehensive way rather than releasing small tranches.
I'm going to move us on, but Mr. Mak, you'll be aware that in response to my letter of the 4th of April, the Department refused to provide information on the grounds that somehow it was subject to some sub judice problems. Those problems do not exist, of course, because the sub judice waiver covers information to this Parliament. You're now telling us that the courts have more up-to-date information than has been supplied to Parliament, and we are 48 hours ahead of a debate in Parliament on arms export controls to Parliament. I think I speak on behalf of the whole committee when I say we are deeply unimpressed by your ability to provide up-to-date information to this department, and that will obviously have implications for the way this department has to approach its arms scrutiny work over the days and the weeks to come.
Now, Alan Mak did come back on the sub judice point and just waffled. And again, if you want to read what he said, again, why would you? But again, the transcript and the meeting is in the description box below. So, yeah, very eye-opening, wasn't it? So what do you guys think? Let me know down below and take care, my friends.